So we're gonna change the pulleys and the belts, right, Tommy, on the Porsche?
Yeah.
So to get at the engine, the front of it, we got to take off these little plastic tabs. They're missing actually, so we might want to replace those. And then we got to remove this carpet.
Well, one's missing actually.
Okay, so just grab it and lift it out. That's pretty heavy, so
Yeah, we're not putting that back in.
we might take that out and put that as part of our weight reduction, because it's very thick and padded, much like the engine cover. But it would keep a lot of engine noise out. Now this panel here needs to come off. There you go, your shifter cables. So we'll take this off and access the front. Okay, last bolt's out. Now pull the panel. Gotta pull forward and up. There we have the front of the motor.
Yahoo!
Little overview of the parts we need to do the pulleys. Well, we got the pulleys, upper and lower, idler pulleys, and the tensioner pulley. I got a couple bucks and wrenches, really just gonna use the 15, couple sockets. Important ones you're gonna need, the E-sockets, because the pulleys are held in with E-sockets. We have a breaker bar with a 24 mil on it to release the tension on the serpentine belt, and our torque wrench. And a new belt. So we just got these from our local Porsche dealer. It's pretty good. We get a discount because we have an older Porsche. So let's have a look and see what we got to do. The 24 mil socket, and we're going to pop it onto here and release the tension. There we go. And we want to lift
Part of it
the
off.
pulley off. So we get the belt off. So we get the belt off one spot. There we go. And then we can just release it. And that's the belt. So the belt was, we had a new water pump on here, and the belt was changed pretty recently, so, but we are putting a new one on, might as well, seeing we're in here. There we go, belt out. Okay, we'll just take the pulleys off. We'll start at the top and then take the tensioner off last. The top one is an E14, so really don't want to smash my knuckles on this, but there it goes. We reuse this hardware, and there are a bunch of washers here, so you don't want things to fall apart. There is a new bolt that comes with one of these, which is the tensioner pulley. So get that off. It is a long bolt. That's the bolt that goes through to the alternator too.
So we could just take the alternator off right now.
Yeah, I don't really want to take the alternator off right now. So we're just gonna, this is only thin, so we'll try to get this past here. There we go.
Do you want to just...
There it comes. And we're off. So that's not too hard, but yeah, that's the old pulley, and pretty worn, and there's actually a good bit of play in that. Yeah, so
and a bit of
it's
rust.
good that we
and dust.
Yeah, rusty and dusty. So good thing we're replacing that, because it's definitely got some movement. Okay, this bottom pulley is an E12 socket, and this one isn't very tight, so I do have the torque specs, and we'll put them up when we go to reinstall. But we don't want to lose, again, any of these washers down below. Okay, nearly there. There it is. Okay. There we go. So that's all out. Now that one is a bit more firm than that other one, since that one's a bit wobbly. Okay, one more to go for removal. This is a bit trickier.
This one?
Yep, that's the one, because we've got to get in behind it with a wrench, because the bolt actually comes through, and that's actually like a nut. So we'll get that off right now. Okay, so we put a 15 mil wrench in behind here. That's to hold the bolt. And then we come on here with our big 24. And we just got to get this released, so it should release pretty easily. Just got to juggle this job. 2 hands, there you go. And that's going to want to move because it's on the tensioner arm. There it goes. I'm gonna go get the bigger socket set. Okay, ratchet is on with the 24 15 mil wrench on the back. And let's
3, 2, 1.
There we go. So I was a bit confused when I first saw how this was done, but then it all becomes clear once it's apart. You got a bolt coming through like a little arm that's hanging down.
You just have to watch the video like 3 times, and then you'll get it.
Box it in there. Easier to come at it from the side, do the 2 sides. That's easier. Put the wrench in on this side and get it to rest against those pulleys to And to make things easier, I've drawn out the pulley layout and where the belts go. So it comes up and loops around and goes back down. It's just a bit. But I also had to set a look on the Pelican Parts article to check the torque settings on this. So top pulley, 46 Newton meters. The tensioner is 60 Newton meters and the bottom is 23. Now they did give 2 numbers for the top if you have a different bolt. So you might want to check your car and see what you've got there for what you need. And that was just on the Pelican Parts article. Quick Google of Porsche 986 Boxster pulley and that article came straight up. I'm going to start putting them back same order I took them off. So in case you've stuffed up your washers, this is how they came off the car. So we have this is the new pulley, the old pulley. We have a washer here with a flat side, so that goes in and sits on the bearing, same as that. I don't think there's any difference in the sides, I can't tell. That kind of nutty bolt thing goes in there. And then I'll flip it over, and then there's a spacer that goes onto the back there. There we go. So we can just, I can't get it came with the new bolt, but I can't get it off, and I'll show you why, because I'm not taking that bracket off. I'm not taking the tensioner off, so I'm just going to have to reuse that bolt with a little bit of thread locker. So just picked up some Loctite and we just put a bead of that down it and start bolting it up. Now this one bolts to 60 Newton meters of torque, so keep that in mind. Get your torque wrench ready because you're going to have to crank it down. Okay, I've lost my cameraman, but it's all right. So I got some Loctite here, just some blue. I just blue 243. It's just what I have. I think it might actually call for something a bit less than that. Okay, so we will be reusing that bolt because I can't get the replacement in there. Loctite, it calls for blue 242. I've got 243, so I'll just put a little strip of that down the thread here. And then we're going to be torquing this bolt to 60 Newton meters. So get your torque wrench ready, and we'll put this on in order that they came off. Just get it all threaded by hand. It is particularly longer than I thought it would be to get this on here. There's just a lot of turns in this. So I am using the new kind of nut that came with the pulley, but the old bolt. Okay, I've just got that finger tight, and we'll get the torque wrench and 60 Newton meters. Okay, we'll get our socket on the ratchet on there first and get it fairly tight. 60 is not, it's fairly tight setup. Just like before, this is all pretty tight in here too, so. I'm going to come at it, putting the wrench on this side. Okay, torque wrench time. Oh yeah, there we go. I got a little bit of room. There's a bit of wiggle room there. Okay. Go, check it. 60 Newton meters. Pulley 1 is complete. Okay, that's the new lower idler pulley. It's got the little bit longer spacer on the back, it's a bit smaller hole. It is, because it is genuine Porsche, it does come with the new washer here and the new spacer on the back, so you don't have to reuse any of your old stuff. Pretty cool, but you do have to reuse your bolt. So we'll get that bolt out of there. Pop it in here. And now this one doesn't get torqued as high. It only gets torqued to 23 Newton meters, and it is the smaller size. So I'm going to need my little adapter here for my torque wrench to fit those smaller E-sockets, but we'll set it up and get the thread locker on there and slide it into position. Pulley ready. We'll beat a thread locker down it. Don't need too much on this one, I don't think, because it's not held in with much torque. Okay, just lightly, and we'll get it on the torque wrench. Okay, this is not going to fit, is it? No. Nearly fits, so close. Might be able to get it if I bend this back a bit. And that's a no. Okay, look, I can't get it in there, but 24 Newton meters is not very much. Not much at all. Basically, whatever you're going to do with a kind of regular size socket is going to be tight enough on that one. Think about when you took it off, how tight it was. It wasn't very tight. So there we go. That should be fine. On that one, now we got the next pulley with that big long bolt, and that's the upper. This is the last pulley. This definitely does not take long to do this job. Cut that off. Again, spacers are there, washers are there. Nice stock setup. we'll grab the old bolt and we're going to torque this one in then. This one's a little bit tighter. So this one we just torqued to 46 Newton meters, which again is not particularly tight. So we'll take the old bolt, slide it through, and then we'll put some more Loctite along it and put it in as well. So this did have that much trickier long bolt that we're going to have to try to get past everything. So we'll put a bit of the Loctite on it. Don't know where its threads start. I think they're just in the back, but we'll just put it down the bit on the length here. Get it so we get the pulley inside, pointed at the hole. I got it bending this plate back with my hands and pushing. There we go. It just goes right in. Okay, you can line it up in the back where it goes into the back of the alternator. Yeah, definitely didn't need to put Loctite on the whole bolt, only on the tip. So again, 46 Newton meters on this isn't particularly tight, so we'll get it set with the ratchet. Swap over to the torque wrench. This one we do have lots of room, which is nice. Sort of. Cables are here. Need a smaller torque wrench for this tight engine bay on this cart. Okay, there we go. It's on. It's straight. There we go. And that's not a whole lot of force on this torque on this bolt. That's it. We now have 3 pulleys installed. That wasn't a tough job. It didn't take long at all. So if you're doing your belt, you got an older car doing your belts, might as well do the pulleys. My mate at Porsche said when I went in to order a belt, he said, just do the pulleys. They've probably never been done, and they haven't. And now they are ready to go for another 100,000 kilometers. Now it's time to put the belt back on. So we've got our drawing here, what we did before, of where it goes. We're going to loop it through, and then the last pulley we'll probably do maybe with the alternator pulley up here, so it's easier for me to get at on this side, and loop it all in and check the tension. Goes down below around the water pump. Okay, so that's how I need to get it over here. That's it. Try to get everything evened up, sitting in grooves. Okay, we'll go to our pulley here. Very tight in this cart, but that's okay. Loosen that off, and hopefully we have enough slack to get up around the alternator. Yep, there we go. bit more. There we go. Not quite on the water pump. That's a little bit off here. A bit bigger on the crankshaft pulley. Something's not right. It's a bit loose. Why is that loose? Because I didn't get this pulley here properly. Okay. It's always something. Put that back on. Come on, come on, come on, come on. Almost there. Just gonna get that under there. Maybe trying to tackle the alternator at the last one wasn't the ideal. Nope. Okay, what I'm going to do is try to do a different way. There's always one way that's just super easy, and then every other way is just messed up.
Several song-filled hours later.
Come on. It's just millimeters. Oh yeah, there we go. Okay, so the lower idler pulley was the magic one. Don't know how it's going to be for you. Oh, but that sucked, and now I'm very sweaty. Make sure everything is on and seated properly. Let's back that. It's kind of even here. You got a couple millimeters to deal with. And yeah, that lower idler pulley was the one to, everything's even. All the way around, seated there, seated there. Woo! Oh, that sucked. Okay, well, we're gonna start it up. Make sure everything's in the right spot. And that all looks fine. Job done. Hardest part. I'm pretty hot and sweaty now. Hardest part's doing that belt. Everything else, piece of cake, do it yourself. Just get some of those Torx socket things, and super easy to do.